Mary, and welcome everyone. I graduated in managerial economics, and at the time it was pretty theoretical. And now as events are unfolding in our economy, and I'm listening to Fed Chairman Jay Powell explain why we are at a 7% inflation rate, it still sounds pretty theoretical. The issue here is that we're business people and we're trying to make real decisions based on this. So keep in mind that inflation is the rate at which money loses value. Prices go up, purchase power goes down. And it's relative to about 200 categories that span everything from transportation and energy, food, beverage, medical care, education. So it touches pretty much all parts of our lives. What's remarkable is that over the last 30 years, this rate of inflation has been at or below 3%. That's remarkable. What's happening now is now 7%. So my curious and quirky question is, what are companies doing about their pricing strategies to address this higher inflation? So one that caught my eye was C&H Sugar. They recently explained in a Facebook post, in order to keep the cost per bag of sugar low, many retailers are converting their store brand products from a 5-pound to a 4-pound bag. So in an effort to maintain our affordability, we're decided to do the same with our C&H brand. And the reduction in size, however, is not enough to offset the increase in the remaining 4 pounds of sugar in the bag. So that's why you're seeing prices going up and the bag price going down. So that's the bag size going down. I think it's interesting that they didn't just grab that pricing lever. They first adjusted their value proposition, trying to keep that unit, the good, the bag, fairly affordable, and then communicated the change on Facebook. Another example is a major accounting firm, Grant Thornton, just announced a 10% increase to their clients. And they explained that it's being more difficult to retain their good employees, so they've increased salaries. And from what I understand, most clients said that was acceptable as long as they could be reassured that they were able to keep the good quality service and hopefully get their tax returns prepared on time. So in this case, they set their price that was beyond the 7%. They went to 10%, and they made a very rational explanation for it. A third situation is that we've been talking to a lot of B2B companies about increasing their prices, and many of them have said that they haven't yet. And they explained that they're getting a lot of pushback from their sales reps. So gaining this internal buy-in is often one of the most difficult parts of a price increase. And in fact, we've measured it in research, and we can see that sales reps are more price sensitive than the customers are. So that is an issue. So now what? If you are experiencing inflation or a rise in your supply costs, a couple of questions that you probably want to ask yourself and your team are, what parts of our product or service can we consider reducing or deconstructing? So for example, if you're in medical devices, you may have a part of your offer that are disposables, and you might be able to repackage those. Or if you are in the service industry, you might be able to unbundle a portion of your service. Second, if we need to increase the price of our products to protect our margins, how can we do this? How and when? So you may consider matching that inflation rate at 7%, or you may consider increasing it even higher if your industry average is higher. And then when, you can do it all at once, or you can step it up over time. And lastly, how do we manage that communication both internally and externally? You can be very proactive and send out information, or you can be a little reactive, as we have heard here. So the answer to these really tough questions must start by investigating the market, the customer, and the competitors. What is inflation doing to customer needs? How are their needs being reprioritized? What are your competitors doing, if anything? We often find that if you do market research or some price sensitivity studies, that's a form of market research, you're going to get a lot more information about how you can make these kind of decisions. We wish you the best of luck as you make these tough decisions around inflation.